If you're over 40 and you're still avoiding accessories because you think they're too flashy, you're making a mistake that instantly makes you look less attractive. Here's the truth: the right accessories don't make you look like you're trying too hard. They make you look more powerful, more sophisticated, and, according to women, a lot sexier. The difference is subtle but undeniable. One man looks polished and quietly confident. The other looks plain, dated, and forgettable, even if he's wearing the same clothes. Today, I'll show you 9 accessories that define quiet luxury. Pieces that whisper quality, attention to detail, and timeless masculinity. They work in the boardroom, at a dinner party, or on a casual night out. And once you start wearing them the right way, you'll wonder how you ever went without. Accessory number 1, a quality leather watch strap that actually fits your lifestyle. Let's start with something most men get completely backwards: the watch strap. You've probably got a decent watch, maybe something you bought years ago or received as a gift. But here's what I notice constantly: men wearing expensive watches on cheap, inappropriate, or completely wrong straps that undermine the entire piece. The problem goes deeper than just aesthetics. Most men stick with whatever strap came with their watch, never considering that changing the strap is like changing the personality of the entire piece. A quality leather strap in the right color and texture can take a basic watch and make it look like a considered expensive choice. More importantly, it can align your watch with your actual lifestyle and wardrobe instead of fighting against it. Here's what works. For business and dressier occasions, a smooth, fine-grained leather strap in black or dark brown creates instant sophistication. The leather should feel substantial but not bulky, and the stitching should be clean and purposeful. For casual wear, consider textured leathers like pebbled grain or suede that add visual interest without being flashy. Colors like cognac, navy, or even olive can coordinate beautifully with your casual wardrobe while still looking intentional. The fit matters enormously. Your strap should be comfortable enough that you forget you're wearing it, but secure enough that the watch doesn't slide around your wrist. The buckle should complement the watch case. Don't mix metals unless it's clearly intentional. Here's the quiet luxury element. When someone notices your watch, they should think about the overall harmony of the piece, not just the brand name. A perfectly matched strap makes even modest watches look expensive and thoughtful. The transformation is immediate. Instead of wearing a watch, you're wearing a carefully curated timepiece that reflects your attention to quality and detail. But while your watch handles timekeeping, this next accessory handles something even more important for your daily confidence. Accessory number 2, a minimalist leather wallet that actually organizes your life. Now let's talk about something you use multiple times every day, but probably haven't upgraded in years: your wallet. The typical pattern goes like this. You buy a wallet, stuff it with cards and receipts and random papers, and use it until it literally falls apart. By the time you replace it, it's become this thick, bulky thing that creates unsightly bulges in your pocket and makes you look disorganized every time you pull it out. Here's what most men don't realize: your wallet is a reflection of how you manage details in your life, and people notice. A quality, minimalist leather wallet does several things simultaneously. It forces you to be intentional about what you carry, which means you're more organized. It creates clean lines in your pocket instead of bulk. And when you do pull it out, it looks like something a sophisticated man would own. The quiet luxury approach means choosing function and quality over flashy branding. Look for full-grain leather that will age beautifully rather than synthetic materials that just wear out. The stitching should be clean and purposeful, not decorative. The size should match your actual needs. If you're carrying 12 credit cards and a stack of receipts, the problem isn't your wallet, it's your organization system. A proper wallet should hold your essential cards, some cash, and maybe 1 or 2 other necessities, nothing more. Colors matter too. Black and brown are classics that work with everything, but don't overlook navy, dark green, or even subtle burgundy if they coordinate with your typical belt and shoe colors. Here's the detail that makes the difference. The wallet should feel substantial in your hand without being thick in your pocket. Quality leather and smart design make this possible. When you pull out a wallet that's sleek, organized, and clearly well-made, it sends a subtle signal about your standards and attention to detail. It's a small thing that makes a big impression. Of course, staying organized is easier when you can actually see clearly, which brings us to an accessory that many men get completely wrong. Accessory number 3. Perfectly fitted eyewear that enhances rather than hides your face. Whether you need prescription glasses or just sunglasses, eyewear is one of the most impactful accessories you can wear, and one of the easiest to get wrong. The most common mistake I see men over 40 making is choosing frames based on outdated ideas about what looks professional or age-appropriate. This usually means small, conservative frames that do nothing for their face shape and make them look older than they are. The opposite mistake is just as bad, choosing trendy frames that might look good on younger men but feel forced and unnatural on mature faces. Here's the quiet luxury approach. Choose frames that enhance your natural features and complement your face shape regardless of current trends. If you have a rounder face, frames with more angular lines can add definition. If you have a square face, slightly rounded frames can soften your features. The key is proportion. Your frames should balance your face, not overwhelm it or disappear on it. The material matters enormously. Quality acetate or metal frames feel substantial and look expensive, while cheap plastic looks exactly like what it is. The hinges should move smoothly, the nose pads should fit comfortably, and the temples should rest properly without pinching. For prescription glasses, consider having multiple pairs for different occasions. Your everyday work glasses might be conservative and understated, while your casual frames could have more personality or color. Sunglasses follow similar principles but with additional considerations. Classic shapes like aviators or wayfarers work for most men, but the size and proportions should fit your face specifically. Avoid anything too small, which makes you look like you're borrowing someone else's glasses, or too large, which can overwhelm your features. The lens quality matters too. Cheap lenses distort colors and provide poor protection, while quality lenses enhance your vision and protect your eyes properly. Here's what people notice. Well-fitted eyewear makes you look more intelligent, more successful, and more attentive to quality. Poorly fitted eyewear makes you look like you grabbed the first thing you found. But great vision is just one aspect of presenting yourself well. This next accessory works on a completely different sensory level. Accessory number 4. A signature fragrance that becomes part of your personal brand. Fragrance might be the most misunderstood accessory for men over 40, largely because most of us learned about cologne from advertising that suggested more is always better. The reality is that fragrance, when done right, operates on a completely different level than visual accessories. It's subtle, personal, and memorable in ways that most men never fully explore. The quiet luxury approach to fragrance means choosing something distinctive but not overpowering, wearing it consistently enough that it becomes associated with you, and understanding that less is always more. Here's what doesn't work: grabbing whatever's popular or on sale, spraying it everywhere, and hoping for the best. This usually results in scents that are either too generic to be memorable or too strong to be pleasant. Instead, think of fragrance as an extension of your personal style. Just like you might have a preferred color palette for clothes, you should have a preferred scent profile that reflects your personality and lifestyle. For daytime and professional settings, consider cleaner, more understated scents, perhaps something with citrus notes, light woods, or subtle spices. These create presence without being intrusive. For evening or more intimate settings, you can go slightly deeper and more complex. Perhaps something with richer woods, leather notes, or more sophisticated spice blends. The application matters as much as the scent itself. 1 or 2 sprays on pulse points, wrists, maybe the base of your neck is sufficient. The goal is for people to notice your scent when they're close to you, not when they're across the room. Quality makes a huge difference. Better fragrances have more complex compositions that evolve throughout the day, while cheaper ones tend to smell the same from first spray to fade out. Here's the quiet luxury element. When chosen and worn properly, fragrance becomes part of your personal brand. People associate the scent with you, and it creates a subtle but powerful sense of familiarity and attraction. The right fragrance makes you more memorable and adds an element of sophistication that's completely invisible but undeniably effective. Speaking of invisible elements that make a big impact, this next accessory category is something most men completely overlook. Accessory number 5. Premium socks that no one sees but everyone feels. This might sound trivial, but hear me out. The quality of your socks affects everything from your confidence to your foot health and indirectly impacts how you carry yourself throughout the day. Most men treat socks as completely functional, grab whatever's cheapest, wear them until they get holes, and never think about them again. But this approach is costing you more than you realize. Cheap socks create several problems. They don't breathe well, so your feet get uncomfortable during long days. They don't provide proper cushioning, so you're more tired by evening. They wear out quickly and look shabby. And they often don't stay in place, which means you're constantly adjusting them. Here's what quality socks do differently. They regulate temperature and moisture, so you're comfortable all day. They provide proper support and cushioning, so you feel better. They maintain their shape and appearance wash after wash, and they stay where they're supposed to be. The quiet luxury approach means choosing socks made from quality materials like merino wool, premium cotton, or sophisticated blends that combine the best properties of different fibers. For business settings, choose socks that complement your outfit without being distracting. This usually means solid colors or subtle patterns that coordinate with your pants and shoes. The key is intentionality. Your socks should look like you chose them purposefully, not grab them randomly. For casual wear, you have more flexibility with colors and patterns, but the same principle applies. They should feel like part of a coordinated look. The fit is crucial. Properly fitted socks don't bunch up in your shoes or slide down your legs. They provide appropriate cushioning where you need it and stay comfortable throughout the day. Here's the psychological element. When your feet feel good and you know you're wearing quality items even where no one can see them, it affects your confidence and how you carry yourself. It's a small thing that has a surprisingly big impact on your overall sense of being well-dressed. Quality socks are one of those invisible foundations that support everything else you're doing with your appearance. But while good socks keep you comfortable, this next accessory keeps you looking sharp in ways most men never consider. Accessory number 6. A classic leather belt that actually complements your wardrobe. Belts are probably the most overlooked accessory in most men's wardrobes, which is unfortunate because they're often one of the most visible. The typical approach is to buy one black belt and one brown belt, wear them with everything, and replace them only when they literally fall apart. This works on a basic functional level, but it misses huge opportunities for elevating your overall look. Here's what most men don't understand. Your belt should coordinate with your shoes, complement your outfit, and be appropriate for the occasion. When these elements align, your entire look appears more intentional and sophisticated. The quality difference is immediately visible. A cheap belt looks thin, feels flimsy, and develops cracks and wear patterns that make you look like you don't pay attention to details. A quality leather belt develops character as it ages and continues to look better over time. For business and dressier occasions, a smooth, fine-grain leather belt in black or rich brown creates a clean, professional appearance. The buckle should be proportional to the belt width and complement your other accessories, particularly your watch and any jewelry. For casual wear, you have more flexibility with textures and colors. A textured leather belt, or one in an unexpected color like navy or burgundy, can add visual interest without being flashy. The fit is more important than most men realize. Your belt should fit comfortably with the buckle hitting around the middle hole. This gives you flexibility for fluctuations in waist size and ensures the proportions look right. Here's the quiet luxury principle. Your belt should enhance your outfit without drawing attention to itself. When everything coordinates properly, people notice that you look polished without necessarily identifying why. A quality belt that complements your shoes and coordinates with your overall outfit creates visual harmony that makes you appear more put together and detail-oriented. But coordination extends beyond just matching colors, as this next accessory demonstrates. Accessory number 7. Subtle jewelry that adds character without screaming for attention. Jewelry for men over 40 requires a completely different approach than it did in your 20s and 30s. What might have looked edgy or fashionable then can look like you're trying too hard to recapture your youth now. The quiet, luxury approach to jewelry is about choosing pieces that add character and sophistication rather than making statements about your personality or lifestyle. A quality wedding band, if you're married, should be well-fitted and substantial without being chunky. The metal should complement your other accessories. If you wear a silver watch, silver wedding band makes sense. If you prefer gold tones, coordinate accordingly. For additional pieces, less is definitely more. A simple chain in quality metal can work under open collar shirts, but it should be subtle enough that it's barely visible. The goal is to add a hint of sophistication, not to display jewelry. If you wear rings beyond a wedding band, they should be minimal and meaningful rather than decorative. A simple signet ring or a clean band in quality metal can work, but avoid anything too chunky or obviously trendy. Bracelets are tricky territory for men our age. If you choose to wear one, it should be high quality and understated, perhaps a thin leather band or a minimal metal chain. But honestly, most men over 40 are better off skipping bracelets entirely unless they have specific meaning or cultural significance. The key principle is that your jewelry should enhance your overall look without becoming the focus. When someone notices your jewelry, it should contribute to an impression of thoughtfulness and quality, not draw attention away from everything else. Here's what works. Choose one or two high-quality pieces that you wear consistently, rather than rotating through multiple pieces. This creates a signature look that becomes part of your personal style. Quality matters enormously. Cheap jewelry looks exactly like what it is and can actually detract from an otherwise polished appearance. Better to wear no jewelry than obviously cheap jewelry. Of course, all these accessories need to work together as part of a cohesive approach, which brings us to something that ties everything together. Accessory number 8, a quality pocket square that shows you understand subtle sophistication. Now, before you dismiss this as too formal or old-fashioned, hear me out. A pocket square, when used correctly, is one of the most effective ways to show that you understand sophisticated dressing without being flashy about it. The mistake most men make is thinking pocket squares are only for formal occasions or that they're too fancy for everyday wear. In reality, a subtle pocket square can elevate business casual outfits and even some casual looks in ways that feel completely natural. The quiet luxury approach means choosing pocket squares that complement rather than contrast sharply with your outfit. This isn't about bold patterns or bright colors. It's about subtle coordination that shows attention to detail. A simple white cotton or linen pocket square works with almost everything and adds a clean, polished touch without being loud. For more color, consider subtle patterns or muted tones that pick up colors already present in your shirt or tie. The fold matters more than most men realize. Complex decorative folds look like you're trying too hard. A simple straight fold or puff fold looks effortless and sophisticated. Here's the key. Your pocket square should never be the focal point of your outfit. It should add a subtle layer of refinement that makes your entire look appear more considered and polished. When done right, people notice that you look particularly well dressed without necessarily identifying the pocket square as the reason why. It contributes to an overall impression of sophistication and attention to detail. For business settings, a pocket square shows that you understand the finer points of professional dressing. For social occasions, it demonstrates that you put thought into your appearance and understand traditional menswear principles. The quality should match your other accessories. Cheap, synthetic pocket squares look obviously inexpensive and actually detract from your overall appearance. But while pocket squares add subtle sophistication to your outfits, this final accessory category handles the foundational element that supports everything else. Accessory number 9. Premium quality underwear that affects everything else you wear. This might seem like an odd choice for the final accessory, but quality underwear is the foundation that affects how every other piece of clothing fits, feels, and looks on you. Most men treat underwear the way they treat socks, purely functional, replace only when absolutely necessary, and choose based entirely on price. But this approach is undermining your comfort, confidence, and even the fit of your outer clothing. Cheap underwear creates several problems. It doesn't provide proper support, so you're less comfortable throughout the day. It doesn't breathe well, so you're dealing with moisture and temperature issues. It wears out quickly and loses its shape, which affects how your pants fit, and it often creates visible lines or bunching that shows through your clothing. Quality underwear made from premium materials like modal, bamboo fiber, or high-end cotton blends solves all these issues. It provides proper support without being restrictive. It regulates temperature and moisture effectively. It maintains its shape wash after wash, and it creates smooth lines under your clothing. The fit is crucial and affects everything else you wear. Properly fitted underwear doesn't bunch up, ride up, or create pressure points. This means your pants fit better, you're more comfortable, and you can focus on other things instead of constantly adjusting. Here's the quiet luxury element. Quality underwear is completely invisible to others, but it affects your confidence and comfort in ways that impact how you carry yourself throughout the day. When you know you're wearing quality items even where no one can see them, it contributes to an overall sense of being well-dressed and prepared. This confidence shows in your posture, your comfort level, and your general presence. The investment is worth it from both comfort and economic perspectives. Quality underwear lasts significantly longer than cheap alternatives and performs better throughout its lifespan. Here's what I've learned about accessories for men over 40. The goal isn't to show off or make bold statements. It's about creating a foundation of quality and attention to detail that elevates everything else about your appearance and confidence. These subtle accessories work together to create an overall impression of sophistication and thoughtfulness. When you get the details right, people notice that you look particularly polished and confident, even if they can't identify exactly why. If you want more insights about elevating your style in sophisticated, age-appropriate ways, practical advice that actually works for real life, hit that subscribe button. And I'm curious, which of these accessories surprised you the most? Is there one you've been overlooking that you're now thinking about upgrading? Drop a comment below and let me know. I read every comment, and your feedback helps me create content that addresses the questions you're actually asking. Remember, true style isn't about following trends or making bold statements. It's about understanding quality, paying attention to details, and presenting the best version of yourself with confidence and authenticity.